Hi, my name is Alexis. I help people get back with their ex, and in today's video, I'm going to explain the 10 signs that your ex hasn't moved on. Sometimes after a breakup, or very frequently actually, we tend to overanalyze everything that our ex do. And in many situations, it's wrong signs, it's signs that doesn't mean anything. And so in this video, I'm going to share with you the 10 most common signs, proven signs that your ex hasn't moved on. If you only have one or two, that might not be enough. If you have more than two, three, or four, then there's a strong chance that you might be very closer than you think to get back with your ex. I'll explain everything after the jingle.
IgetMyExBack.com. Everyone deserves a second chance.
The first reason is that they are on a dating site. That sounds very weird though. I'll explain everything. Before I do, I want to remind you that I put together a quiz for you to know if you have any chance to get back with your ex. Because science are good, but science and neuroscience and psychology is good as well. I put together a quiz. It's about 20 questions. It takes 2 minutes. It's totally free. And you get a result, likelihood score, whether you're going to get back with your ex or not. You better have an idea rather than watching my videos or other coaches online. If there's no chance, you better know sooner than later. So they are on a dating site. So it sounds a bit counterintuitive, but here's the reasoning. It's very hard to realize that and to learn that when you see that your ex is on Tinder and you see a friend of you will tell you that he or she is on those dating apps. And how can that be so fast? That's the first question you should ask yourself. How can that be so fast? And the thing is, you might be wrong in seeing things, i.e. they moved on so quickly that now they are on a dating site. That's not how it works. A normal person will wait a long time before getting onto those apps. What I mean by that, and I record those videos for people who were madly in love. My assumption is when you watch my channel is that you had a strong relationship, you had strong feelings for each other, and you had an amazing relationship. And when you do, you can't forget your ex and move on, i.e. go on dating sites so quickly. That's not normal. So people who do that is because they want to cope with that breakup. Because it's painful, even if they are the dumpers, it's really painful. A breakup is very painful. And they want to cope with that breakup. They want to keep themselves busy by dating someone. And by dating someone random, like on dating sites. So what you have to remember is if you see your ex 1 or 2 weeks after the breakup on dating sites, trust me, those relationships won't last. It never does. Because you basically are comparing a strong, intense, passionate relationship that you had with your ex versus a flirt that they're going to create with someone random. How can they be beating each other? How can this new relationship be better than what you had together? So trust me, those relationships don't last. You have to be there when they collapse. I'll explain everything after. Second thing is they check in with your friends. It's very common. And they lack the connection they have with you. And it's a normal connection to reach out to your common friends. They also do that because they hope to learn something. And also check if you've gone. Check because they could be scared that you went elsewhere. So they have the same fear that you have right now. They might be scared that you actually are moving on. Because remember, when a dumper decides to break up with their partner, there's a lot of uncertainty when he makes that decision, he or she makes that decision. And so for them, seeing you with someone would really, really painful as well. It depends on cases, it depends on the relationship, it depends on your psychology and things like that and your attachment style. But it's really common to see a dumper being really puzzled, being really curious about what their ex is up to because they don't want to see their ex with someone. Third one, and you feel like, wow, this is definitely happening to me. They take time to answer your messages. And the reasoning of that sign is let's take the other way around. If they didn't really care about you, if you meant nothing, if they were indifferent, that's the whole, most of those signs are, does this person is indifferent with me or do they care? If they care, rather than just saying, replying within a second, yes, sure, don't talk to me. If they take 1, 2, 3, 5 hours, 1 day, 2 days to reply, it means that this message means a lot to them. It means that they care. And it is very important, because if they care, it's a sign that they haven't moved on, right? 4, they monitor activity on social media. Obviously on Instagram, you can see who's watching your stories. You can see if he or she likes your post on Facebook or things like that. The idea here is that they are not ready to close that chapter. They're not ready to let go of that link that you have together. They're very curious. They feel that you're still part of their life, and that's why they can't help but watching what you're up to. So it's a very strong sign that they haven't moved on. 5, your ex got back together too quickly, and it's similar to the dating site. How was the breakup? Was it complicated? Was it long? They need some time to be in a light and fun relationship. And sometimes they even display it, like they show to the world how happy they are. But the thing is, most of the time when they do that, is to make you react. It's just that they're wearing a mask just to piss you off. They're just pretending to be happy in that relationship that they found. Honestly, after a week or 2 weeks, and you were together for years, it doesn't mean anything. Remember that if your ex is dating someone after a couple of days, couple of weeks, after you've been together for years, it is bullshit. It is that the proof that they haven't moved on. It's the proof that this relationship, this new relationship, is superficial. It's just a method. It's just a proxy for their happiness. They just use that person to fill that void. They use that person to cope with that pain that came after the breakup. And it doesn't mean anything for them. It means that they haven't moved on. It means that they're using that new person, that rebound, to feel better. And this will not last, because that rebound will soon enough realize that they've been used, right? So always remember that. It's super important. 6, they are doing very well, very quickly. Again, a breakup is very painful, even if you're the damper. And it takes months to recover from a real relationship. And again, I'm taking the assumption that you had a real relationship, you had future together, talking about kids, families, wedding and things like that. You cannot recover from that breakup, even if you're the damper, in a week or 2 weeks. It takes a lot of time. And so if you see them super happy, super excited, showing off, you see that their behavior has changed. It's a little bit different than when you were together. They are faking it. Again, they're putting a mask. Not necessarily to piss you off, but they just pretend that they're okay. 7, they blocked you. Again, a very common one. And you might be thinking, well, if they blocked me, it's because they don't care about me. They just don't want to hear about me. Again, let's look the other way around. If you don't care, you don't block. If I don't care about someone, unless you're harassing, unless you're disrespectful, unless you're using strong language and stuff like that, if I don't care about someone, I would just ignore that person. I don't need to block them. Because blocking, and it's a bit like love and hate, sometimes they're together. They're the two faces of the same coin, right? And so your ex might be hating you because they're strong emotions. Those emotions, those feelings were love and passion before, and now they turn into hate. But it's because there's intense emotion between you two, intense feelings. And you can turn this around not very easily, but you can turn this around, because this means that there's something, that they haven't moved on, that they're still thinking about you, they're still not indifferent towards you. 8, they left some stuff at your place. It's a classic one. When you don't want to hear anything from a friend or from an ex, you take everything. I have a funny story. A friend of mine, I was kind of a player. And anytime he used to sleep with a girl and took a girl at his place, he would make sure that she never left anything at his place. He was checking his entire room just to check if it was a bra, if it was like earrings and stuff like that. And it's the same. If your ex left some stuff at your place, it's signs that they're not ready to give up everything. It's not ready to let go. It's like leaving a piece of themselves where you are. And it's a classic excuse to come back and reach out. So you can also use that tactic if you want to get back with your ex and you left some stuff. It depends on the situation. Of course, you have to do some stuff before, and I'll explain everything what you have to do. But it's also a good tactic to use this. You don't recognize them. They look fake. They look too happy, too normal. They're partying too much. And again, how can they be happy? How can they be so transformed after 1 or 2 weeks of breakup? It doesn't make any sense. And as soon as you see that they don't look normal, they don't look as usual, because you know them very well, it's because they haven't moved on. They are faking it. They are just pretending to be okay. And it's a strong sign that they haven't moved on. I'm going to move on to the next one, to the next and the last one, plus I will add some recommendation. But before I do, I want to remind you that you can like the video, you can subscribe to the channel. It does help me a lot to share that content to a wider community, and I think we are growing, and it's amazing. And I see amazing comments every day. So if you also have questions, or if you see those signs, don't hesitate to comment, contribute to the conversation. It would also help others watching the video. And so, number 10, you receive, and I'm a bit sick today, you receive a lot of friendly messages, and I'll try to not die before the end. You receive a lot of friendly messages. They find really hard to cut the link. They miss you, Again, if they moved on, they don't want to hear about you anymore. They don't want to be your friend, They don't want, if they moved on, you're just nothing to them. By sending you a friendly message back, keeping the contact, it's a sign that they haven't moved on. So now, what you should do, you should be patient, of course. And the thing is, a breakup recovery or getting back with an ex is always longer than we think. It doesn't mean that it's not going to happen. If you take the quiz and have a score of 15, there's a strong likelihood that it could happen if you do the right things, but it's always longer than we expect. Don't beg. If you see those signs and you feel like, okay, now they haven't moved on and I need to apologize, I need to beg, I need to go to their office place, I need to basically talk them out of that discussion, of that decision. No, don't beg. Follow your own path. Do a no contact, radio silence properly. Leave them some space. Use that space to recover. Use it as an opportunity to move on in your life. A breakup is a challenge. A breakup can determine whether you grow or whether you stay the same. Something happened that triggered your ex or you two to decide to break up. Now, you can use that information and complain about life and think that things will always be the same, think that you'll never change, think that she'll never change or he'll never change, think that you don't have the ability to change, to grow. That's what we call the fixed mindset. There's a lot of studies about that, and I might do a video about that. That's the fixed mindset. This is how it is, and I won't change, and everything will be the same. Now, my clients and people who I work with believe that they have a growth mindset, i.e., what happened in the past doesn't necessarily determine what will happen in the future, because they have the power to change. They have the ability to change. Of course, we all need some help to change. I got a personal trainer to help me do some sport because I'm really bad at it. And I know I need someone to help me and to push me to be at my best, to give 110% each time I go to a session with him. And it could be the same for you if you want to recover. You might need some help along the way, and it's fine, it's totally fine. But it's really about how you can use that breakup to move on, to grow, to learn. People who have this fixed mindset, they don't learn. Every challenge, every failure, every challenge becomes a failure. For you, a challenge is a learning opportunity. And you can grow from that. And of course, It's very sore right now, it's very painful right now, but it is really important for you to reflect, and that's why radio silence, no contact is essential. It's for you to reflect. And your ex also to make that job of reflection, so you can come back together stronger than before. And again, it's really about the timing, it's really about taking the time, working on yourself, improving every day 1%, and you will see, you will get back together. It's just about doing the right things, having the right people around you to support you, and be ready to be back together. Because at the end of the day, they loved you. It's just something happened. Love is still there. They haven't moved on. If you have those signs, so you can get back together. Again, I'm here for you. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to comment. And I also have 15-minute discovery calls in my diary, totally free. You have the link in the description. I'd love to speak with you, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
igetmyexback.com. Everyone deserves a second chance.